Your mind is your most powerful tool, or your biggest trap. Most people react to life. They let comments, setbacks, or failures shake them. But the strongest people, they train their minds daily. They master the art of emotional control. They act with calm, not chaos. They build quiet confidence, one small habit at a time. In this video, you'll discover 10 powerful things you must work on every single day. These are simple daily habits that will help you stay calm, clear, and in control no matter what life throws at you. Let's dive in. Habit 1, control your reactions. Every single day, we're faced with situations that test our patience, resilience, and emotional strength. Whether it's the sudden frustration of a traffic jam, a rude comment from a colleague, or a mistake you made at work that causes a ripple effect, life will throw challenges your way. But here's the important truth. These challenges only have the power to affect you if you let them. In fact, your reactions to life's events are often what determine your sense of peace, happiness, and success. The great philosopher Viktor Frankl once said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response." In other words, the key to emotional strength and mental resilience lies not in avoiding challenges or pretending they don't exist, but in choosing how to react when they do come up. The world around us can be chaotic, but we have the power to remain calm amidst it all. Emotions like anger, frustration, and anxiety often arise when we encounter difficult situations, but these emotions don't need to control us. When we react impulsively without thinking, we give away our power. When we react from a place of anger or defensiveness, we end up giving those negative emotions control over us, which can lead to poor decision-making, regret, and unnecessary stress. On the other hand, when we consciously control our reactions, we retain our power and create space for better outcomes. To illustrate this, imagine you're in a meeting and someone dismisses your idea. Your first impulse might be to feel defensive, upset, or frustrated. You could react by raising your voice, becoming argumentative, or shutting down. However, if you choose to take a deep breath and calmly listen, you create an opportunity for yourself to respond thoughtfully, whether that means addressing the criticism with facts or simply choosing to stay silent. In this case, you've taken control of your emotional response and chosen to respond with purpose and clarity rather than letting your initial frustration dictate your actions. Mastering your reactions doesn't mean you suppress your emotions or become a robot. It means you acknowledge and feel your emotions, but you don't allow them to control you. The goal is not to avoid emotional experiences, but to become aware of them, pause before reacting, and choose a response that aligns with your highest values and goals. In other words, you train your mind to stay composed in the face of discomfort. One powerful tool to help with this is creating what some people call mental space. This means taking a moment to stop, breathe, and evaluate your situation before responding. It's a simple habit, but it's incredibly effective. The next time you feel frustration building up, pause and ask yourself, is this reaction going to help me? Will this situation matter in a few hours or a few days? More often than not, you'll find that the answer is no. This realization allows you to let go of the emotional charge, regain control of your thoughts, and respond in a calm, collected manner. Another key strategy to improving your reaction is practicing mindfulness. Being mindful means you are fully present in the moment without judgment or distraction. When you practice mindfulness, you can observe your feelings without being controlled by them. For example, if you're feeling angry instead of reacting impulsively, you can sit with the emotion for a moment, observe it, and then choose your next action. By doing this regularly, you strengthen your ability to remain calm, composed, and clear-headed. He who angers you conquers you. This powerful quote speaks to the idea that when we let someone or something upset us, we hand over our power to them. But when we control our reactions, we maintain our sovereignty over our emotions, thoughts, and actions. This doesn't mean that you should suppress or bottle up your feelings. Rather, it means you should acknowledge those feelings without letting them dictate your behavior. You are the one in charge of your inner world. The impact of mastering your reactions is far-reaching. Think about the people you know who seem to stay calm no matter what happens. They handle difficult conversations with grace, manage stress well, and seem unbothered by setbacks. This is the power of emotional control. It allows you to navigate the ups and downs of life with a sense of poise and composure, creating an inner strength that others notice. This habit of controlling your reactions doesn't require perfection. It's about progress. Every time you catch yourself before reacting, or when you choose a more thoughtful response, you are training yourself to grow stronger emotionally. Over time, this ability becomes second nature. You'll find that even in the most stressful situations, you remain calm and collected, allowing you to think clearly and act decisively. To build this habit, start by setting small goals each day. Perhaps you want to work on staying calm when your day doesn't go according to plan. Or maybe you'll focus on taking a deep breath before responding when you're in a disagreement. As you begin to notice the positive effects of controlling your reactions, you'll feel more empowered and in control of your emotional world. And over time, you'll develop a resilience that enables you to face any challenge with grace and strength. Remember, life is unpredictable, and you can't always control what happens to you. But you can control how you respond. And in that space lies your true power. Habit 2, train your mind daily. The power of a trained mind cannot be overstated. Think about the athletes you admire, the leaders you respect, or anyone who seems to handle life's pressures with grace. What sets them apart? It's their ability to stay focused, maintain clarity, and navigate challenges without losing composure. These are all traits of a well-trained mind. Training your mind daily is an essential habit for anyone who seeks to thrive in life. Your mind is your most powerful tool. It determines how you perceive the world, how you react to situations, and ultimately how you experience life. Like any tool, if it's not maintained, it becomes ineffective. When you train your mind consistently, you build mental resilience, cultivate focus, and sharpen your ability to remain calm under pressure. Without training, it's easy to get caught up in stress, distractions, or emotional reactions. But mental training gives you the power to decide how you respond, not react. One of the most effective ways to train your mind is through daily mindfulness and reflection. We often find ourselves thinking about the past or worrying about the future, but the most powerful thing we can do is stay present in the moment. Mindfulness is the art of being fully aware of the present experience, whether it's in a conversation, during a task at work, or even just taking a walk. The more you practice being present, the more you train your mind to resist distractions and focus on what truly matters. It's a habit that sharpens your ability to stay calm, make better decisions, and reduce anxiety. Consider a typical day in your life. How often do you find yourself reacting to external events or situations without thinking? It could be something as simple as a comment from a colleague or a minor setback that derails your mood. But a mind that is trained to remain present can decide how to react rather than being automatically triggered by external forces. This is where the power of mindfulness comes in. By taking a few minutes each day to center yourself and practice mindfulness, you train your brain to stay focused on what's important and not let temporary distractions throw you off course. Another powerful tool for training your mind is visualization. This practice involves mentally rehearsing situations and imagining the outcomes you desire. Visualization is used by athletes, performers, and successful people across all fields to boost their performance and mental toughness. By regularly visualizing your goals, challenges, and successes, you're essentially setting your brain up for success. Visualization works by creating a mental roadmap of how you want to react in different situations. So when the real moment arrives, you're mentally prepared for it. For instance, let's say you're preparing for an important presentation. Every day leading up to the event, take 5 minutes to close your eyes and visualize yourself speaking confidently, managing any obstacles with ease, and walking away feeling proud of your performance. By consistently rehearsing success, you train your mind to expect success and handle challenges with confidence. Along with visualization, it's essential to engage in positive self-talk. The way you talk to yourself can have a huge impact on how you approach the world. If your internal dialogue is full of doubt, criticism, or negativity, it becomes harder to maintain a positive, productive mindset. Instead, work on shifting your inner conversation to one that is supportive, encouraging, and focused on growth. For example, if you make a mistake, rather than berating yourself, you can tell yourself, "This is a learning opportunity. I'll do better next time." This type of thinking rewires your brain to focus on solutions rather than problems, which strengthens your emotional resilience over time. Another mental training practice that has a powerful impact is meditation. It's one of the most effective ways to clear mental clutter and increase mental clarity. Even just a few minutes of meditation each day can help you reduce stress, improve focus, and build emotional resilience. Meditation allows you to observe your thoughts without judgment, creating the space to let go of negative patterns and reinforce positive ones. It helps you develop the ability to focus on the present moment, rather than being overwhelmed by worries or distractions. In addition to mindfulness and meditation, journaling is another powerful mental training tool. Taking a few minutes each day to write down your thoughts, feelings, and experiences can help you process emotions, gain clarity, and track your progress. Journaling is a form of self-reflection that allows you to unload the mental clutter, organize your thoughts, and identify areas where you want to improve. It can also serve as a way to track your goals and celebrate small victories along the way, reinforcing a positive mindset. Let's look at an example. Imagine you're going through a particularly tough week. You have a lot on your plate, and things aren't going according to plan. If you don't have a well-trained mind, this situation can easily overwhelm you, leading to stress, anxiety, and frustration. But if you've been training your mind daily with mindfulness, meditation, and positive self-talk, you'll be able to step back and approach the situation with a sense of calm. You'll remind yourself that setbacks are a part of life, and you'll be more focused on finding solutions rather than fixating on problems. That's the power of a trained mind. It doesn't let external chaos control your internal peace. Training your mind daily is about creating consistent habits that promote mental strength, focus, and emotional balance. By visualizing success, practicing mindfulness, engaging in positive self-talk, meditating, and journaling, you're building the foundation for a resilient mind that can handle life's challenges with ease. Remember, your mind is like a muscle. If you want it to be strong, you need to work on it every day. And just like any form of training, the more you practice, the stronger and more capable you become. Make training your mind a daily habit, and you'll be amazed at how it transforms your life. Habit 3, treat failures as data, not defeats. We've all faced setbacks. It's part of life. But how we perceive those setbacks makes all the difference in how we move forward. Many people fear failure or take it personally, which can paralyze them or make them feel defeated. But successful people view failure differently. They see it as data, valuable information that tells them what didn't work and helps them adjust their approach for next time. Failure doesn't define them, it refines them. One of the greatest myths in life is that failure is something to be ashamed of or feared. The truth is, failure is inevitable, but it doesn't have to be the end. The best way to think about failure is to consider it a learning tool. When you fail, you gain valuable feedback on what needs to change. By treating failure as data, you free yourself from the emotional weight of self-judgment and open the door to improvement. For instance, think about Thomas Edison's journey in inventing the light bulb. He failed thousands of times, but he didn't see those failures as defeats. Instead, he saw them as steps toward success. He once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison understood that each failure was a lesson, and without those lessons, he would never have succeeded. His persistence paid off, and today we all benefit from the light bulb he helped create. When you fail, it's important to avoid taking it personally. It's easy to feel discouraged and think, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed." But these thoughts are just mental traps. Failure doesn't mean you lack the ability or the talent to succeed. It just means you haven't found the right approach yet. Successful people understand that failure is a part of the process. One of the best ways to treat failure as data is to reflect on what went wrong. This doesn't mean you have to dwell on the negative. Instead, take a moment to examine the situation objectively. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? Or what can I do differently next time? When you approach failure with this mindset, it shifts your focus from what didn't work to how you can improve. This creates a growth mindset where you're constantly evolving and learning rather than feeling stuck in a cycle of defeat. For example, let's say you didn't get the job you applied for. It's natural to feel disappointed, but instead of focusing on how bad the rejection feels, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Maybe the interview didn't go as well as you hoped, or you didn't have the exact qualifications they were looking for. This feedback is not a sign of failure, but an opportunity to adjust your approach, whether it's improving your resume, practicing your interview skills, or gaining more experience in a certain area. In doing so, you'll be better prepared for future opportunities. Similarly, when you fail in a personal goal, like trying to build a new habit, it's easy to feel defeated. Maybe you tried to exercise every day for a week, but missed a couple of days. Rather than criticizing yourself, treat it as data. Why did I miss those days? Was I too tired? Did something unexpected come up? What can I do differently next time to stay on track? By asking these questions, you start to build a better system for success, one that is based on trial and error, learning, and improvement. Failure doesn't have to be the end. It's simply a feedback loop that tells you what to adjust. One powerful habit to build around this concept is to regularly review your progress, both the successes and the failures. Take a moment at the end of each week or month to reflect on what went well and what didn't. By doing this, you can track your growth, identify patterns, and see where you can improve. This kind of regular reflection helps you view failures in perspective rather than as isolated events. When you see them as part of the larger picture of progress, you'll realize that each failure brings you closer to your ultimate success. It's also important to celebrate small wins along the way. This helps maintain your motivation and reminds you that failure doesn't mean you've been defeated. It just means you're learning. Every small step forward is a sign of progress, even if it doesn't look perfect. For example, if you're trying to improve your health, don't get discouraged by the occasional slip-up. Celebrate the days you stayed consistent, the small changes you made, and the lessons you learned along the way. Recognize your growth and know that even failures are part of that journey. In conclusion, treating failure as data, not defeat, is a habit that can transform your mindset. Instead of letting setbacks hold you back, see them as opportunities to adjust, learn, and grow. Remember, failure doesn't define who you are. It's simply a part of the journey. By embracing failure as feedback, you become more resilient, adaptable, and prepared for future success. As you start to adopt this mindset, you'll see that the path to success is not a straight line, but a series of lessons, trials, and triumphs. The more you learn from your failures, the closer you get to achieving your goals. Habit 4, train the mind daily. Your mind is a powerful tool, but just like any other tool, it needs regular training to perform at its best. Every day, your mind is constantly processing thoughts, emotions, and information. Yet many of us don't realize that our thoughts shape our reality. If you want to achieve success in life, whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal development, you must make it a habit to train your mind daily. Training your mind involves more than just reading a book or watching an inspirational video. It's about developing mental habits that help you think clearly, stay focused, and handle life's challenges with resilience. Just like physical fitness, the more you work on your mental strength, the stronger and more effective it becomes. The mind is like a muscle. It grows and improves with consistent practice. One of the most effective ways to train your mind is through visualization. Take a few moments each day to vividly imagine your goals coming to life. Imagine yourself achieving success in the areas that matter most to you. This practice isn't just wishful thinking. It's about training your subconscious mind to focus on what you want to accomplish. Visualization helps build confidence and clarity, setting the tone for your action. It's about seeing yourself in a positive light, which in turn helps you take positive steps toward achieving your goals. Another key aspect of training the mind is reflection. This involves looking back on your day or week to see what went well and what didn't. It's about asking yourself meaningful questions. What did I learn today? Or what could I have done better? Reflecting on your experiences, both good and bad, helps you grow by turning those experiences into valuable lessons. The act of reflection strengthens your decision-making ability, allowing you to make better choices moving forward. It also helps you identify patterns in your thoughts and behaviors, which can guide you in making changes for the better. One powerful tool for training your mind is asking yourself, will this matter in 5 years? This simple question helps you put things into perspective. Often we get caught up in the small day-to-day struggles, stress from work, arguments with people, or minor setbacks. But when you take a step back and ask if this will matter in the long run, you begin to detach emotionally from temporary challenges. You see that many of the things that cause us stress or anxiety won't matter in the grand scheme of things. This helps you stay focused on your long-term goals rather than getting bogged down by short-term distractions. Let's take a look at how this principle can play out in your everyday life. If you're stressed about a project at work or a disagreement with a friend, instead of letting it consume you, pause and ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Chances are most of these challenges are temporary, and the emotions you're experiencing are fleeting. By reframing your perspective, you can reduce unnecessary stress and stay focused on what truly matters. Additionally, one of the best ways to train your mind is through meditation or mindfulness. These practices help you calm your thoughts, improve focus, and increase emotional awareness. Meditation doesn't need to be long or complicated. Even just 5 to 10 minutes a day of sitting quietly, focusing on your breath, and being present can make a huge difference. It's about training your mind to focus on the present moment rather than getting lost in past regrets or future worry. Mindfulness also teaches you to observe your thoughts without judgment. Instead of reacting emotionally to everything that happens, you learn to respond calmly and thoughtfully. This allows you to build a greater sense of emotional intelligence, helping you navigate challenges with clarity and control. It helps you realize that you're not defined by your thoughts or emotions, you're simply an observer, and you have the power to choose how to react. It's important to remember that training the mind is a daily commitment. Just like physical exercise, you can't expect to build mental strength overnight. It requires consistency and practice. Start each day with a mental workout, whether it's visualization, reflection, or mindfulness, so that you're strengthening your mind and preparing yourself for whatever comes your way. Over time, this habit will pay off, not only in your ability to achieve your goals, but also in how you handle life's challenges with grace and composure. Training your mind isn't about avoiding problems. It's about becoming mentally stronger so that you can handle them better. It's about taking control of your thoughts and emotions rather than letting them control you. The more you practice these habits, the more resilient and focused you will become. So make it a habit to train your mind daily. The mind, when trained, is the most powerful tool you can ever own. And with consistent effort, you can transform your thoughts, actions, and ultimately, your life. Habit 5, detach from external validation. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking approval from others, whether it's through social media likes, compliments from friends, or recognition at work. Many of us measure our self-worth by how others perceive us. But constantly seeking external validation can be draining, and it weakens our sense of self. The truth is, true strength comes from within, not from the opinions of others. Detaching from external validation means developing a strong sense of self-worth that is not dependent on the approval or recognition of others. When you rely on others to make you feel valuable, you give them control over your emotions and decisions. But when you learn to validate yourself, you take back that control and find peace in knowing that your value is not defined by what others think of you. It's natural to want to be accepted and appreciated. However, when you seek constant validation, you start making decisions based on what others want or expect from you, rather than what aligns with your true values and goals. This can lead to resentment, frustration, and a lack of authenticity in your life. You may start pleasing others at the expense of your own happiness and well-being. One of the keys to detaching from external validation is to cultivate self-awareness. When you truly know who you are, what you stand for, and what you want out of life, you don't need others to tell you that you're on the right path. Self-awareness is the foundation of self-confidence. It allows you to stay true to your values and make choices that align with your inner purpose without being swayed by others' opinions. Start by reflecting on what truly matters to you. What are your core values? What are the goals you want to achieve in your life? When you have a clear understanding of these things, you can make decisions with conviction, regardless of what others think. Self-gladnation comes from trusting your own judgment and knowing that your actions are aligned with your purpose. Another way to detach from external validation is to focus on inner achievements rather than outward recognition. Society often praises us for visible accomplishments, such as promotions, awards, or public recognition. However, real growth happens when you achieve things in private, for yourself, without needing applause from others. These small internal victories, whether it's pushing yourself to improve your skills or overcoming a personal challenge, are often far more rewarding than any external recognition. When you measure your success by your own standards, rather than by others' expectations, you create a deeper sense of fulfillment. It's important to recognize that external validation is often fleeting. A compliment or a like on social media may feel good in the moment, but it doesn't last. In contrast, inner validation is sustainable. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are enough, even without outside affirmation. The more you practice self-declaration, the less you will rely on others to determine your worth. You'll become your own biggest supporter and motivator, and that inner strength will carry you through life's ups and downs. One of the greatest barriers to detaching from external validation is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment, and fear of not measuring up can all contribute to the desire for constant validation. But learning to let go of that fear is essential. When you stop seeking validation, you stop giving power to others' judgments. This doesn't mean you stop caring about people. It simply means you no longer let their opinions dictate how you feel about yourself. Remember, you cannot control how others perceive you, but you can control how you perceive yourself. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, not for anyone else, but for you. Your self-worth is not determined by how many people approve of you, but by how deeply you believe in your own value. As you work on detaching from external validation, remember that you are not defined by the opinions of others. You are worthy simply because you exist. Your strength comes from within, and when you validate yourself, you free yourself from the need for constant approval. The more you trust your own judgment, the more confident and empowered you'll become. By detaching from the need for external validation, you create a life that is authentic and driven by your inner purpose, not the fleeting opinions of others. Your worth is not up for debate, and when you realize that, you'll find freedom in simply being yourself. Habit 6, handle criticism with strength. Criticism is something we all encounter, no matter how hard we try to avoid it. Whether it comes from a colleague at work, a friend, or even strangers online, it can be tough to hear, especially when it feels personal. Yet the way we respond to criticism has a profound impact on our mental strength and emotional resilience. The strongest individuals don't let criticism shake their sense of self. Instead, they use it as an opportunity for growth. It's natural to feel defensive when someone criticizes you. The instinct is to argue back or shut down emotionally. However, emotionally strong people know that reacting impulsively only drains their energy and takes away from the opportunity to learn. Instead, they pause and reflect on the critique. Not all criticism is negative. Sometimes it's a reflection of things we can improve upon, even if the delivery wasn't ideal. When you receive criticism, take a deep breath and don't internalize it immediately. Instead of assuming the worst about yourself or getting upset, take a moment to assess the feedback objectively. Ask yourself, is there any truth to what was said? Is there something I can learn here? This practice of detachment allows you to process criticism more effectively and turn it into a tool for growth rather than a source of frustration. One of the most important aspects of handling criticism with strength is understanding the difference between constructive and destructive criticism. Constructive criticism is given with the intention of helping you improve. It may be hard to hear, but it's meant to guide you toward positive change. Destructive criticism, on the other hand, is often aimed at tearing you down without offering helpful feedback. It may be delivered in a harsh or hurtful way, and it can be tempting to take it personally. But here's the key. Don't let destructive criticism define your worth. Recognize it for what it is, usually a projection of someone else's insecurities or frustrations. It's not about you, it's about them. Don't personalize negative remarks. By refusing to internalize hurtful criticism, you maintain control over your emotions, and don't let others dictate how you feel about yourself. On the other hand, constructive criticism should be embraced. Accept it with grace and humility. When someone offers you feedback that's meant to help, be open to it, even if it stings a little. By doing so, you show strength in your ability to learn and grow. You don't have to agree with everything said, but if there's something to take away, it's a chance to improve and refine your skills. A powerful tool in handling criticism is to separate yourself from the criticism. Rather than thinking of criticism as a judgment of your character or your worth, view it as a comment on your actions or performance at a specific time. This helps you see the situation clearly and not let it define your overall identity. Remember, criticism doesn't mean you are failing as a person. It just means there's room for growth. Also, keep in mind that your response to criticism speaks volumes about your emotional resilience. Reacting with anger, defensiveness, or frustration only escalates the situation, but responding with calmness and understanding shows maturity and strength. It's not about suppressing your emotions or pretending the criticism doesn't hurt. It's about managing your response in a way that allows you to learn from it and move forward without losing your sense of self. When you develop the habit of handling criticism with strength, you begin to see it as an opportunity to improve and refine your skills. You stop fearing feedback and start seeking it, knowing that it helps you become the best version of yourself. Criticism, when handled correctly, can push you to grow in ways that you never imagined. Another key aspect of handling criticism with strength is maintaining your sense of purpose. Sometimes criticism can feel overwhelming or discouraging, especially if it challenges your self-esteem or the work you're doing. But when you stay focused on your long-term goals and remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing, criticism becomes a minor hurdle instead of an insurmountable obstacle. By viewing criticism with a clear, objective mindset and refusing to let it derail your confidence, you not only strengthen your mental toughness, but you also become more adaptable in the face of challenges. Remember, criticism doesn't have to hurt. It can be a tool for transformation and growth, as long as you handle it with wisdom and grace. So next time you receive criticism, whether it's constructive or not, pause and reflect. Take it as a lesson, not a blow to your self-worth. Learn to process, not personalize. By doing so, you will develop a deeper level of emotional strength and resilience, which will help you move closer to your goals without letting setbacks define you. Habit 7. Stay composed under pressure. Life is full of pressure-filled moments. Whether it's the stress of meeting a deadline, handling an important conversation, or dealing with unexpected challenges, we all face situations that test our limits. But the key to navigating these moments with grace lies in how we respond to pressure, not in the pressure itself. True strength is shown when we can remain composed and calm under pressure. When pressure mounts, the natural instinct is often to panic or react impulsively. However, emotionally strong people understand that pressure doesn't have to overwhelm them. Instead of feeling crushed, they view pressure as a challenge, an opportunity to show their ability to rise above and perform at their best. They know that how they respond to pressure will define their success. One of the most important steps in staying composed under pressure is preparation. As Billie Jean King said, pressure is a privilege. The more prepared you are for the challenges that lie ahead, the less likely you are to feel overwhelmed when they arise. Preparation isn't just about knowledge or skills. It's about mental readiness. It's about knowing that challenges will come and being mentally prepared to handle them. When you train yourself to stay composed under pressure, you shift your focus from reacting to what's happening around you to acting with intention. Instead of getting swept up in the rush of emotions or fears, you pause and choose how to respond. Staying composed means taking a step back, finding your center, and making decisions based on clarity, not panic. One powerful technique for staying calm under pressure is breathing deeply. When we're stressed, our breath becomes shallow, and this only escalates the feeling of anxiety. But deep, slow breaths help to calm the nervous system and bring us back into control of our emotions. Deep breathing helps slow down our racing thoughts, allowing us to think more clearly and make better decisions. Another way to stay composed is by focusing on the present moment. Pressure often arises when we get overwhelmed by everything that needs to be done, or by imagining worst-case scenarios. But when we focus on the task at hand, we eliminate unnecessary stress. You don't need to worry about the entire mountain of challenges in front of you. Just focus on the next step. By breaking down a large, overwhelming problem into smaller, manageable tasks, you reduce the pressure and make progress one step at a time. Additionally, developing emotional detachment is key to staying composed under pressure. By learning to detach your emotions from the situation, you avoid being driven by fear, anger, or frustration. This doesn't mean you ignore your feelings, but it means that you don't let them take control. You choose your response instead of reacting impulsively. Another valuable tool is mental rehearsal. Athletes and performers often visualize themselves handling high-pressure situations with calm and focus. By mentally rehearsing situations where you'll need to perform under pressure, you prepare your mind to stay composed when the real moment arrives. You can do this by imagining yourself handling stressful events with poise, making clear decisions, and taking purposeful actions. The more you visualize handling pressure, the more naturally it will come when the time comes. Staying composed under pressure also involves embracing discomfort. The truth is, no one likes to be under pressure. It's uncomfortable, and it can feel like you're being pushed to your limits. But instead of resisting that discomfort, emotionally strong people learn to embrace it as part of the process. They understand that pressure often leads to growth. When you're able to sit with discomfort and perform despite it, you develop resilience and mental toughness. One of the greatest benefits of staying composed under pressure is the example it sets for others. When you remain calm, others around you are more likely to follow suit. In team environments, for example, leaders who stay composed under pressure instill a sense of calm in their teams, helping them to perform at their best. Your ability to stay composed not only boosts your own resilience, but can also elevate those around you. Finally, trust in your abilities. When under pressure, it's easy to doubt yourself, but confidence in your preparation and your skills can help you stay grounded. Trust that you've done the work and that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. When you trust in your ability to handle pressure, you eliminate self-doubt and you increase your likelihood of success. In summary, the ability to stay composed under pressure is not about avoiding stress or pressure. It's about mastering your response. Preparation, mental clarity, deep breathing, and emotional detachment all play a role in helping you maintain your composure when things get tough. By embracing pressure as an opportunity to showcase your strength and resilience, you move closer to your goals with calmness and poise. When you develop this habit, you'll find that pressure no longer feels like a threat. It becomes a catalyst for growth. Remember, it's not the pressure that defines you, it's how you handle it that shows your true strength. Habit 8. Flow like water. Adaptability is strength. In life, we often find ourselves holding tightly to expectations, plans, and rigid ideas of how things should unfold. However, the ability to flow like water, To adapt to whatever comes your way is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. Just as water finds its path around rocks, over obstacles, and through any terrain, those who cultivate adaptability can move through life with grace, no matter what challenges they face. Adaptability is not about giving up on your goals or values. It's about recognizing that life will not always go according to plan. And the most successful people learn to navigate the unexpected with flexibility. When you remain rigid in your thinking, you limit your ability to overcome obstacles. But when you become adaptable, you open yourself up to possibilities and solutions that might not have been immediately obvious. One of the core aspects of adaptability is letting go of rigid expectations. It's natural to want things to go a certain way, but life has a way of throwing curveballs. Instead of resisting change or trying to force things to fit your vision, try to embrace the flow of events and accept that you cannot control everything. Adaptability is the ability to adjust to the unexpected without losing your sense of purpose or direction. It's about bending with the winds of change, not breaking under their force. A powerful example of this comes from nature. Consider the bamboo plant. It bends in the wind, but it doesn't break. It remains flexible, and in doing so, it survives even the strongest storms. Similarly, when you allow yourself to be flexible in your approach to life's challenges, you don't allow yourself to be broken by setbacks. Instead, you find a way to bend, adapt, and keep moving forward. Adaptability also involves letting go of attachment to past outcomes. If you are constantly holding on to what has worked for you in the past, you may miss opportunities for growth. Adapting means being willing to let go of what no longer serves you, whether it's outdated methods, old habits, or relationships that no longer align with your goals. It's about making room for new approaches, perspectives, and possibilities. One key way to develop adaptability is by practicing mindful detachment. This means learning to observe situations without getting emotionally tangled in them. Instead of reacting with frustration or resistance when things don't go as planned, you can choose to step back and see the bigger picture. This detached mindset helps you stay calm and objective in challenging situations, allowing you to find solutions rather than getting stuck in problems. Additionally, being open to new experiences is an important part of adaptability. When you're willing to step outside your comfort zone and embrace new ideas, you expose yourself to different ways of thinking and problem solving. Being adaptable requires you to continually expand your comfort zone, whether it's by trying something new, meeting new people, or tackling unfamiliar challenges. The more you push the boundaries of what you're used to, the more adaptable you become. Another crucial aspect of adaptability is embracing uncertainty. Many people fear the unknown because they feel it's out of their control. But in reality, life is filled with uncertainty, and trying to control every aspect can only lead to frustration. Embracing uncertainty means recognizing that not everything can be predicted or planned, and that's okay. It's about trusting that you can handle whatever comes your way, and that you'll find a way to adapt as needed. Moreover, adaptability isn't just about adjusting to external changes. It's also about learning to adjust your internal mindset. If you constantly hold on to negative thoughts or limiting beliefs, it will be difficult to adapt to new situations. But when you open your mind to new possibilities, you make it easier to see alternative routes when your original plan doesn't work. A flexible mindset is key to overcoming obstacles and finding creative solutions. Instead of saying, "This isn't how I wanted it to be," you start saying, "What can I do with what I have now?" The power of adaptability lies in its ability to transform challenges into opportunities. When you stop resisting change and start flowing with it, you can see the positive aspects of every situation. Even in difficult times, you can learn valuable lessons, develop new skills, and grow stronger. Adapting to life's challenges is a form of resilience, an ongoing process of transformation that allows you to thrive no matter what life throws at you. Finally, remember that adaptability doesn't mean you have no direction or goals. It means you are open to adjusting your path to achieve them. By being willing to change course when necessary, you increase your chances of reaching your destination in a way that is more effective and fulfilling. Life will rarely follow the exact script we envision, but by staying flexible, you allow yourself the freedom to explore new routes and discover unexpected opportunities. In summary, the ability to flow like water is one of the greatest strengths you can develop. It's about embracing change, letting go of rigid expectations, and adapting your mindset and actions to whatever comes your way. When you become adaptable, you are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You are in control of your response, and you can move forward with confidence no matter the obstacles you encounter. Habit 9, silence is a power move. In a world that constantly demands more of our time, attention, and words, one of the most powerful habits you can develop is the art of silence. While speaking out and sharing your thoughts can be important, knowing when to remain silent is an equally powerful skill. Silence isn't just the absence of sound, it's a strategic move that allows you to communicate more effectively and assertively. In many situations, silence has the power to unsettle others, make them reflect, and even shift the dynamics of a conversation or situation. Think of it as a tool that commands attention without saying a word. Just like a well-timed pause in music creates dramatic impact, silence in conversation can create a space of intensity and focus. It makes others pause, reflect, and wonder what you are thinking, which often speaks volumes more than words ever could. The ability to remain silent is closely tied to self-control and emotional intelligence. When you are silent in a heated moment, you're showing that you can master your emotions and control your reactions. It's an active choice to step back, reflect, and process. When you refrain from speaking hastily, you avoid saying things you might regret later and prevent yourself from being drawn into unnecessary arguments or conflict. Silence also plays a strategic role in creating mystery. When you speak less and choose your words carefully, you allow others to perceive you as someone who is not easily read. This air of mystery gives you an advantage, as people are more likely to listen intently when they know you don't speak often. But when you do, your words carry weight. Silence is also a great way to maintain emotional detachment. By not reacting immediately to every situation, you create the space to process your emotions and respond thoughtfully. When you don't speak right away, you give yourself time to decide how you want to react, whether with understanding, compassion, or assertiveness. In many cases, silence can allow you to avoid emotional overreactions, making you appear calm and in control. The art of silence is also about listening more than you speak. The most powerful people aren't those who talk the most, but those who know how to listen deeply. When you truly listen, you understand others better, which allows you to respond with insight and empathy rather than just offering your own perspective. People are drawn to those who listen attentively, as it shows respect and consideration for their thoughts and feelings. In conversations, silence can be a tool to create space for others to express themselves. When you stop speaking and give the other person room to share, they are often more willing to open up. By remaining silent, you give them the platform to speak, which not only strengthens the relationship, but also shows that you value their input. Silence also plays a role in maintaining control over your actions and responses. In situations where others are provoking you, silence serves as a shield. When someone attempts to bait you into an argument or draw an emotional response from you, remaining silent sends a clear message. You won't be controlled or manipulated by their words. Silence is a powerful defense mechanism that prevents others from destabilizing you emotionally. Moreover, silence can be a tool for reflection and self-awareness. In a busy world, it's easy to get caught up in the noise, both external and internal. By intentionally seeking out silence, you create space to reflect on your thoughts, values, and goals. This reflective silence helps you align your actions with your deeper purpose, leading to greater clarity and focus. It's in these moments of stillness that we often gain the insights we need to move forward with greater wisdom. Silence, however, is not about withdrawing from the world or being passive. It's about knowing when to speak and when to remain quiet, when to engage and when to step back. It's about using silence as a tool to amplify your presence, maintain your power, and engage with the world in a more deliberate and purposeful way. In relationships, silence can be incredibly powerful. It gives others the space to speak, reflect, and process. If you find yourself in a situation where you're being criticized or confronted, choosing silence gives you the time to think, respond appropriately, and maintain your dignity rather than reacting impulsively. In difficult conversations, sometimes silence says more than words ever could. It shows confidence, patience, and an understanding of what truly matters. Finally, in leadership, silence can create a powerful aura of influence. When leaders speak less, but when they do speak, their words are deliberate and impactful. Leaders who know when to be silent create a sense of mystery, wisdom, and respect. Their actions and words become more powerful because they speak with purpose and know that their words will be listened to more carefully when they are measured and rare. In summary, silence is a tool of strength and strategy. It's not about withdrawing or avoiding communication, but about using silence as a way to enhance your presence, master your emotions, and strengthen your relationships. In a world that values constant chatter, choosing silence at the right moments is a way to assert your control, reflect, listen deeply, and respond with greater power. Habit 10. Build mental toughness through discipline. Mental toughness is not something you're born with. It's something you develop over time, through consistent effort and through habits that shape your mindset. One of the most important habits to foster mental toughness is discipline. It's the ability to stay focused, committed, and resilient in the face of obstacles, discomfort, or failure. Discipline is at the core of all success. Without it, goals remain dreams and plans fall apart. It's the force that pushes you to take action even when motivation fades or when challenges arise. Discipline keeps you consistent, and through that consistency, you build mental resilience. It is the day in and day out commitment to doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, that strengthens your mind and shapes your character. The journey to mental toughness starts with small daily acts of discipline. It's waking up early to get a head start on your day, making your bed every morning, exercising even when you're tired, or sticking to your schedule even when distractions arise. These seemingly simple acts, repeated consistently, build the framework of mental toughness. Discipline turns actions into habits, and habits over time shape who you are. Building mental toughness through discipline means developing the ability to withstand challenges without losing your composure. It's not about avoiding discomfort, but learning how to handle it effectively. When you're disciplined, you embrace discomfort, knowing that growth lies on the other side. The more you expose yourself to challenging situations and face them with a disciplined mindset, the stronger your mental resilience becomes. One key component of discipline is developing the ability to delay gratification. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, being able to wait for long-term rewards can be one of the toughest mental hurdles to overcome. But discipline teaches you to focus on your long-term goals rather than short-term pleasures. It's about understanding that the real payoff comes later, after consistent effort and sacrifice. True mental toughness comes when you can resist the easy path and stay focused on what really matters. Another aspect of discipline is your ability to manage your thoughts and emotions. Mental toughness doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. It means choosing not to let your emotions dictate your actions. With discipline, you learn to control your reactions, think before you speak, and act in ways that align with your goals and values. This level of self-control strengthens your resolve and makes you more capable of handling difficult situations with grace and patience. Discipline also involves setting clear, measurable goals and consistently working towards them, even when the journey feels long or tedious. Mental toughness grows in the face of setbacks and failures, and it is your discipline that keeps you moving forward, even when progress feels slow. By consistently showing up, even when it's hard, you teach your mind that you can handle whatever challenges come your way. Discipline turns obstacles into stepping stones rather than roadblocks. One of the most powerful ways discipline builds mental toughness is through habit formation. The more disciplined you are in creating good habits, the more automatic they become and the less effort they require. Once a habit becomes ingrained in your routine, it no longer takes immense willpower to stick to it. Whether it's exercising, reading, working, or maintaining a healthy diet, the discipline of performing these actions consistently shapes your mindset and makes you tougher over time. What starts as a conscious effort eventually becomes second nature. Building mental toughness through discipline also means pushing through the moments when your mind wants to quit. When you feel tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, discipline teaches you to keep going. It's in these moments, when you feel like giving up, that mental toughness is forged. Each time you choose to keep going despite the odds, you strengthen your ability to handle adversity in the future. Mental toughness doesn't develop overnight. It's a slow, steady process that requires patience and consistent effort, but the results are worth it. With every disciplined action, you grow stronger, more focused, and more resilient. Over time, you start to view challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to prove your strength and sharpen your abilities. The key is to keep going, even when things seem tough. With each step, you move closer to becoming the strongest version of yourself. The practice of discipline also connects deeply with the concept of integrity, doing what you say you're going to do even when no one is watching. True mental toughness comes from being reliable, dependable, and consistent in all areas of your life. You build your confidence by keeping promises to yourself and others, and through discipline you prove to yourself that you can handle whatever life throws your way. In the end, mental toughness and discipline go hand in hand. Discipline helps you make the right choices even when it's difficult and strengthens your ability to stick with them in the face of adversity. By practicing small daily disciplines, you build a strong foundation of mental resilience, which will serve you well in all areas of your life. It is through discipline that you unlock your true potential, achieving not just goals, but a level of personal strength that becomes unshakable. Now, as we come to the end of this video, it's your time to take action. Change begins with a decision. Write a comment below and declare that you're ready to change your life, no matter how difficult it may seem. I'll read each comment personally and feature the most inspiring one right here on the channel. If you're looking for a daily boost of unfiltered motivation, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Let's keep pushing forward together.